Hi, welcome back, and today we are discussing all of Classic Who Season 17 from 1979 to 1980. So first up we have Destiny of the Daleks. This one got a 2 overall, and I may be being a little bit harsh on it. By this point in my rewatch I'm kind of done with Dalek stories again. Daleks and Cybermen, I just think they should be used a bit more sparingly. I'm just not that massive a fan of them anymore. And also I just thought this story was a bit bland overall, which is a shame because it's Romana 2's first appearance and I like Romana 2. I liked Romana 1 as well, but I also like Romana 2. I also like Romana's body change montage at the start of the episode. I thought that was really fun and an interesting new way of showing regeneration again, even if it does raise a whole load of questions about Time Lords being able to choose their new form, and also Romana sort of went back and forth and did different options and then settled back to what she'd already had. So it does raise a lot of questions, but you know, it's Classic Who. Classic Who always raises questions and never answers any of them. As for the actual main story of the episode, I thought it was alright. As I say, a bit bland, but alright. Romana being scared of the Daleks didn't make much sense, considering she said herself she doesn't know anything about Daleks, so that was a bit odd. But I did like the bit where the Doctor ran through with Davros everything that he's missed while he's been dozing. And I also do like the fact that in the episode there's no clear good side in the war between the Daleks and the Mavelians. Neither side is good. They're both just out for the same sort of thing, really. So I liked that. There's no sort of good and evil side, it was just both of them are bad. But overall, as I say, it's a bland story, and to be honest, the rock paper scissors scenes between the Doctor and Romana were the best part of the episodes for me, so it doesn't really say much when rock paper scissors is the best part of an episode. So I'm gonna put Destiny of the Daleks, I'll put it into Wibbly Wobbly. That's fair. It's an okay serial. As I say, I'm probably being harsh on it at the moment. If I were using my Doctor Who spinner that I made and just picking a random episode and it happened to land on this one, I might rate it a bit higher, but I doubt it, to be honest. It's okay. And the MVP for the serial is Tyson. Next up is City of Death. Now this one I do love. This is the first serial I remember absolutely loving from my initial watch. I thought it was a great mixture of comedy, historicals, and just general sci-fi weirdness. I thought it was great. It got a full 5 marks. That shows how good this one is. It's a proper timey-wimey Doctor Who adventure. It's the one of the serials that you'd say, yes, this is Doctor Who. This is Doctor Who. And to be honest, it may be the one that I would say for a 4th Doctor serial if someone wanted to watch this one, because it shows all of Classic Who, right down to the alien makeup. Although in fairness, the alien costume, the Scarith look, was actually pretty well handled, to be honest. I thought it looked pretty decent, except for the eye. The eye was the only issue I had. The rest of it I thought looked pretty decent, so, you know, fair. So I'm going to put this one into Uyu. I'm putting that one to Uyu. I think City of Death is a brilliant serial. It's really fun. It's got the timey-wimey aspects. It's got great comedy as well with the Doctor, with Romana. It's an all-rounder for a Doctor Who serial and I really like it. And in this serial, the Doctor is very much anti-AI art, which we approve of. We approve that message. And the MVP for the serial is Professor Fyodor Nikolai Kerensky. Next up is The Creature from the Pit. So my first thoughts on this episode are that the Evil Queen looks fabulous. Just no notes on her whole look. She does remind me of the Evil Queen from the old Snow White animation, and she can put it off. She rocks it. It's a good look. Overall, this serial got a 4. I did find it very enjoyable. Not quite as good as the last serial, obviously, but it was quite enjoyable. And I liked the message of the Doctor versus late-stage capitalism that the serial seemed to have. I just have to ask though, where are the Doctor versus late-stage capitalism stories now? Because it always just seems to be the Doctor defending capitalism in some way, and I don't like that. The Doctor used to fight against evil corporations and slave labour and all this stuff, and now not so much. So I think I'm going to put The Creature from the Pit into... Upgrade in Progress. Because I feel like it could have been done in 3 serials. Everything was sort of finished within the 3rd serial, and then the 4th serial just extended a bit more, and I just feel like that was unnecessary additions. So I'm going to put it in Upgrade in Progress because I just feel like it dragged on a little bit. Everything that I cared about was resolved in the 3rd episode, so I just felt like it dragged on a little bit. Random nitpicks on the episode. Romana getting kidnapped. As much as I do think that she's getting kidnapped way too much, it's kind of annoying now. But when she got kidnapped, it took her 60 seconds from being tied up to being completely in control of the whole situation and everyone involved. All the people that had kidnapped her just fell into line immediately. She barely had to do anything. She's brilliant. I do love Romana. Like literally she had everyone doing exactly what she said, even when she just said sit and everyone just sort of sat on the floor. Genius. Brilliant girl. Love her. Another funny scene I loved was the doctor when he was clinging on inside the pit and trying to climb up. So he grabs a book out of his coat about how to climb Mount Everest. And then he realises that the whole book is in Tibetan. And so he puts that book away and grabs another book about learning Tibetan. It's ridiculous and I love it. It was such a throwaway moment and it was a good joke. So I just love that bit. And last thing about it is that there's a character called Corella who really wants to kill K9, you know, the metal dog, or Tin Dog as she calls him. And I kept thinking that they called her Corella throughout the whole episode. So I kept thinking there's a character in this called Corella who wants to kill a dog. And I'm like... Turns out her name was Corella, not Cruella. So it was funny either way. And the MVP for the serial is Organon. Next up is Nightmare of Eden. So I don't really have many thoughts on this one. I know I enjoyed it the first time I watched it and I enjoyed it a second time as well. I gave it a 4 overall. It was a bit of a hit and miss in places, but overall I enjoyed it. And the story was interesting and kept me guessing as we went along, even though I already knew the answer. I really wanted to give a no VP award though. In the first few seconds, there's a character called Seka who was just so smarmy and smug and smirky for the whole opening scene that he was in, and I just wanted to give him a no VP award just for that. But I'm not that petty yet, so he can remain unawarded. Also, random thing, the machine that they use to project the different locations, which goes wrong and that's what causes the adventure in the episode, that reminded me so much of the miniscope from Carnival of Monsters, and it made me a bit sad thinking of a better episode. But again, as I say, I enjoyed it overall. So I am going to put Nightmare of Eden, I'm going to put it into upgrade in progress, because I do think it was good. I would say it's not as good as The Creature from the Pit, but I do like them both. So I'm going to put that one to upgrade in progress as well, but just know that Creature from the Pit is a higher version than that one. And the MVP for the serial is Stott. Next up is The Horns of Nimon. The Horns of Nimon. Okay, look, I have absolutely no idea if it's Nimon or Nimon, and I know I keep looking it up and then forgetting, so I'm just going to call it either one or both of them throughout this, and you're just going to have to accept that, okay? So this one got a 3 overall. I thought it's not as bad as I've heard other people make it out to be, but it's not brilliant. There are certainly bits that I love in it, like when Romana, again, gets kidnapped, but she immediately just gets her own sonic device out and goes off walking off as if she owns the place, just like the Doctor does. It made me happy, that one. Plus her sonic screwdriver apparently is better than the Doctor's because he tried to swap them over without her realising and she instantly realised because she's not an idiot. So that was funny as well. What was also funny is that the main bad guy in this one, who's working for Nimon/Nimon, he just looks like Jonathan Pryce in The Curse of Fatal Death. So every time I saw him on screen, I just went, it's the Master. Where is his etheric beam locators? I love that story so much. There will never come a day when I do not think about The Curse of Fatal Death, just constantly. Another thing that made me very much giggle was when the Doctor is asked if he's a space pirate, and his reaction when he says no was so big that I just think he's thinking of the Space Pirate serial, isn't he? He's thinking of that. He's also thinking, no, don't remind me of that. So that was funny. It made me giggle. Another thing I giggled about is that the Curse of Fatal Death character in this, the guy who looks like the Master, he called Romana a meddlesome hussy. And I just thought that was funny. It's ridiculous to say and I love it, it's so funny. And I also love Romana's ferocity when the Doctor was going to be left behind and she was refusing adamantly to allow that to happen, because Romana is amazing and should not be underestimated under any circumstances. But overall, as I say, it was okay. I think I'm going to put this one into wibbly wobbly. It's not the best, but it's not the worst, so it's okay. And the MVP for the serial is Seth. And lastly, we have Shudder. So Shadow wasn't actually released until 2017 and then again in 2021 because of some industrial action or something that happened at the time it was being made, which meant it can never be finished. But thankfully they animated the rest of it, and I know that Tom Baker came back, and I think Lalla Ward as well, for the very end scene, which features an older Tom Baker, which I really like. I think that was a really cute addition to it, and the voices were all added on for the animation as well, so it was all very well done. I also think that the transitions between animated scenes and live action scenes were really seamlessly put together. I just think that the whole thing was really well put together for the finished product, so props to them for doing that. Also, the music in it is really nice. I don't know if this is the original music or if it was rescored when they finally released it, but the music I really liked. I thought it was really nice music. It didn't sound like the normal Doctor Who music. Normally Doctor Who sounds like stock music, but this sounded really quite nice, so I liked that. I also like that we meet another renegade Time Lord in this one, in Professor Chronotis, because while he's technically, spoiler alert here, while he's technically Salyabin, the great mind outlaw, who is a bad Time Lord, he's such a sweet old man. I like the fact that we met another renegade Time Lord and he wasn't evil against the Doctor, he just was there, part of the story in another way, which I quite liked. The Doctor was great in this one as well. He convinced a computer that he was dead so that he could give it commands and it would accept them, which I thought was really clever. And he also had the book in code that he was having to read to the villain, and he was purposefully reading it in the code, not decoding it first, and just kept saying how stupid he is so that I can't read this, I'm just stupid, I'm so stupid, I can't read this. And I thought that was really funny as well. The Doctor did really well in this serial. I quite enjoyed his scenes in this. The villain Skagra was a proper sci-fi villain. I loved it. The whole look was brilliant. And in the animated version of him, they made his face really angular, which just added to the villainous look of him, which really worked well as well. I liked that. Speaking of Skagra, there's a moment in the end of part 5, I think it is, where he's sort of like standing there and these little spheres rise up around him. And naturally that made me think of the Master on the Toclafane, and I just loved that. Anything that makes me think of the Master, I just love. And Skagra's ending, being imprisoned on his own ship with his own ship's computer just swooning over the Doctor for eternity. It's a fitting end for him and I like it, it's funny. As for the episode as a whole, it got a 4 overall on average, but I do really enjoy this one. I think it's a really good serial, and I'm gonna put it into fantastic. I just really like this one. I think it's really interesting as well, the concept of this shadow prison, which I would have loved to have seen explored in New Who as well. I think it would have made a great 12th Doctor episode, maybe with someone escaping from this prison and then the Doctor has to sort of track them down or something like that. I think that would be quite interesting. I just think that the concept of this prison is so intriguing and I want it delved into more. So I think that would have been fun for a New Who episode. But as far as this one goes, that's in fantastic. And the MVP for the serial is Wilkin. So that is the season ranked. I think it's a fairly decent season, pretty balanced as well. It's got stuff across the board, but nothing really terrible, which is good. Season stats, the most common score was a 4 and the average overall was a 3.77. The quote of the season comes from The Creature from the Pit, and it's a conversation after the Doctor and Romana are reunited after each have been kidnapped. And Romana says, "I was so worried about you." And the Doctor says, "Oh, you shouldn't be worried. Time Lords have 90 lives. And Romana says, "How many have you gotten through then?" And the Doctor says, "About 130. I just think that's quite funny because it shows A, the Doctor lies, B, the Doctor has outlived every single Time Lord life rule ever, and C, it's just funny. It's a really sweet conversation. Anytime the Doctor has someone worried about him, he generally does just sort of make a joke about it so that they don't worry anymore and that they know he's okay. And I quite like that. I think it's cute. And also it kind of goes forward with New Who and the developments with the Doctor's character and his lifespan. So I think the quote works quite well on 2 levels. But that is everything. That is season 17 completely ranked and done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time when I rank season 18.